I'm gonna make you edit the fuck out of this.
No, because
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. You miss I don't edit. I'm gonna do stuff throughout the whole thing, so you're gonna spend an hour on this and just listen to me.
That would be really funny.
Okay.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Between Two Worlds. I am your host, Annika, and on today's very special episode, we have a guest. We have Charlene from Witchy Work Wishes.
I'm so excited to be here. Oh my goodness.
So we just did an episode on your podcast about Night of Hekate, and that was intense.
It was intense, and what's interesting is, and I know you had a whole different direction that you wanted to go today, but you guys, like Annika and I started talking about it. Then I had a dream. I've had some key interaction stuff. We've gotten sign after sign. I always talk about like little nudges, like
Yeah,
it's intriguing.
absolutely. And so that went on for, I think it was like an hour and a half. So we're going to continue this because I think we have a lot more
We do.
to talk about.
We do.
More kind of got uncovered
It did.
afterwards.
Yes.
So we have the Night of Hekate coming up. We
Mhm.
have the 30th coming up, which is also important, which is going to be a dark moon.
So this is what is new for me. So that's what I'm hope. I don't know what your slated
No.
questionnaire is like, but the 16th I've known about, and that's what was drawing me to do one of the episodes on it. But the 30th, like that's new information for me.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited
I
to
agree.
explore that more.
Yeah, absolutely. And originally, I did want to just kind of interview you. I had a bunch of questions
Yes.
slated for that, which we still will get around
Absolutely.
to. But I think this takes precedence
Does.
over anything.
We're just getting called to talk about this.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So I thank you for being on my podcast. That was I just have so much fun talking with you anyways, always.
Yes, me too.
But we sure do get a lot of validations when we talk about Hecate, her energy in general, crossroads maybe. Like we just get some stuff like, girl.
Absolutely. I think every time we've been together, there has been crazy amount of confirmation and validation. You talked
Yes.
about the dragonfly coming into the office,
I loved that one though.
the black dog.
Dog.
We just saw ravens.
Yep.
Like it's kind of intense. There's no surprises here actually anymore.
Like
At this point, we're like, yeah, no, that's
okay.
fine.
We just have to roll with it, which I love. That means that you read into it and just said, okay, I'm flexible on this interview. So clearly
Yes.
we're not done.
Yes, we are not done with Hecate,
Okay.
and I'm sure a lot of everyone who is listening is getting ready for that, especially the Dipnon. November 16th, we learned is newer.
Newer-ish.
And there are some other days. There's a whole wheel of Hecate. I talked about Cindy Brandon in her book.
So I actually started listening to that. I'll be honest, I downloaded the Audible just so with the holidays coming up, it's time to start decorating and doing things, and it's nice for me just to have a book on audio, so I can just listen and keep kind of working and doing stuff in the house.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
I did a quick little video that I posted on Instagram too. I'm loving the book. So actually, with her interpretation of the 16th, it does go back a ways. It might be newer, but it does go back. It's been around for a while.
Yes, it's just not in like the ancient papyri or the Chaldean oracles or something like that, which is very special.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have something that happened while I was doing that. I did like I brought a black crow feather out.
Yes.
Did a white. Yeah, so got the book all downloaded. Knew I had a whole, 8 hours worth of household cleaning and chores and start decorating for Yule and Christmas. So I put the book on, but I brought a black crow feather out. I brought a white candle out, and I brought a set of keys that are all kind of, linked together.
Yes, which I have right here, and they're gorgeous. Like, I don't know.
We can chime that in for everybody.
ASMR. But these are seriously gorgeous. They're like the antique skeleton key.
They definitely are. And they were gifted to me. So these were handed down to me by my mom, who I'm not sure, I'll have to verify with her again where she got all of these. But these are not, there's nothing modern about any of these keys. They're definitely all old.
Yes.
And antique. So I got the keys out, but then there was one key that I didn't have hooked together. These are loose. I have bound them together with just some twine.
Right.
But then there was one key that's got a heart shape in the
Mm,
center, and I set that one out separately. So when I was done decorating and doing all my stuff, and turned the book off, I put my candle away. I put the big set of keys away, but then that one key that I had out that was separate,
yeah.
I couldn't put away. And hopefully this doesn't get too personal with everybody listening, but
Well, this is a very personal
okay,
podcast.
good.
This is probably the first time the listeners are going to at least hear me like genuinely laugh because, I'm new to all this and
Yeah,
I definitely aim towards more of the not serious,
I
but
know.
the harder things to talk about.
For sure. You
So,
do. No, I'm loving your podcast so
thank
far.
you.
So I think this is a great platform
But I love
that
getting personal. So, TMI is
just
like tell me immediately.
tell what? Tell me more. Okay, so what I did was, you know, again, wrapping up all my chores and stuff. I took that little key and I put it into my bra. So I
Yeah.
put it
Yeah.
on the left hand side, so it was right above my heart, right by
Hmm.
my heart. And I just went about my evening and doing stuff at the house. And so again, I'm not to get too.
No, you're good.
I ended up just going to bed. It's not like a like an underwire bra that you have to take
Right.
off. It was this
Exactly.
ceremonial thing to get into
It
your
was
jammies.
comfortable.
It's a comfy
Hmm.
bra, one of those really comfy ones, and I ended up just going to bed, which I never do. I
Hmm.
always get changed into jammies
Right.
or something. I usually I take my shower at night. Like
Yep.
there's a whole routine,
I'm the same thing. It
right?
is a routine, it's a ritual. When it
Yes.
comes to getting ready for bed, it's a 3-hour thing.
And you, I think, yeah, you do. You embrace it like I do. So for whatever reason, I didn't that night. Like I
Hmm.
just went to bed. I was tired.
Yep.
I was a little sore, whatever it was. So that key stayed right next to my skin all night long. I completely forgot about it, literally, until I went to change the next day, and the key fell out.
Which
It's
is
like
so funny to me. It's like we don't even think about these things, and then because it just comes so
totally,
intuitively,
yes.
and then you're like, okay, just going about my day, and then you're like, wait, what?
Whoa, 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 whoa! Like oh, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that.
Hmm.
And so I had it on my vanity for a little bit. Anyways, fast forward a couple nights, and I had the most wonderful dream, and I wish I could remember it. It was so clear, Annika,
Yeah.
at the moment. So we're recording the weekend here of the November 16th weekend.
Yes.
So it was actually on Monday night, but beforehand. And right before midnight, because it was enough to wake me up.
Hmm.
And the moment it was super clear, and I was recounting everything that just happened, and it was absolutely 100% something with Hecate. And
Yep.
I had the biggest smile. Like, it was the coolest interaction in my dream.
Hmm.
I had the biggest smile on my face, and I just remember the feeling, not necessarily what happened, but I
Right.
remember the feeling of this is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Whatever just happened, like it was just so amazing. And I went back to sleep, drifted off to sleep, literally just saying her name over and over and over again.
Hmm.
Hecate, 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 Hecate. I just kept saying it until I
Yeah.
drifted back off.
Yes, you woke up with that immediate, and I like how you said that you remember the feeling because
Yes.
I think, especially in witchcraft, there's so many things that happen to us that are so unexplainable. And then, it's not really necessarily remembering every single detail about what happened, but we
Mhm.
remember how it made us feel.
Right.
Hmm.
So I saw you, when I was telling you about it, and I
Yeah.
was like, Annika, I can't remember anything in the dream, even though it was so clear when I woke up right before midnight.
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't remember anything. And you and I were talking about stuff, and then you said something about deer.
So,
What about? You said something. I
yeah,
was like, oh my God.
we're talking about Christmas decorations because
That's it.
you love the gnomes.
You guys, I do. I like my gnomes. I
You
like
love
my
the
Christmas
gnomes.
gnomes. I do.
And I am partial to gnomes. I don't really like gnomes.
You guys, last Christmas in the office, my staff and we were able to freak Annika out on more than one occasion by moving gnomes around in her office.
Yeah.
Like she would go for lunch and then we would just have like a gnome on her desk
Yeah.
or on her seat when
They
she
would
came
just
back.
move slightly. It's just
It's
freaky. I don't hate gnomes, especially when it comes to, the fae and the creatures.
for sure.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'd be open to it, but I'm not attracted to gnomes. I don't know. I just there's something about them that I don't jive with.
Yes.
So we are talking about that, and I was like, joking around, why couldn't you pick something like
Dear.
deer?
Yes.
Because, you have your themes with Christmas. There's
There's
gnomes,
definite.
there's elves, there's
There.
snowflakes, there's
Yes.
deer. So we joked about that, and then all of a sudden you like,
It clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember. I don't remember the dream exactly, but there was a stag in the dream.
Yep.
There was absolutely a stag.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, that can't be. That's not Hecate. She doesn't have stags. And Anna's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, hold on. Let's just sit. Let's let this marinate. Let's think this through. And we actually did come up with quite a few connections.
Yes, there is a few of her epithets that have to do with deer, which really connect to wildness. There's
sure.
deer huntress.
Yep.
You know, we kind of picked apart hunting, predatory kind of vibes, which you're kind of feeling right now with a certain situation when it comes
Yes.
to darker magic or
Yes.
baneful magic.
Yep.
So it really started to make sense the more that we looked into it.
It did. And then I was like, okay, I hope the rest of the dream does come back to me at some point, but there is no doubt it was Hecate, and there's no doubt there was a stag in my dream.
Yeah, which also kind of came to us as an epiphany. Like deer
Mhm.
are so liminal. And I never put two and two together when it came to deer and being liminal, but it makes so much sense because where do we see them? Always at the edge of tree lines.
Yes.
We always see them, you know, at the edge of the road.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's how they get hit,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
they're right between two spaces. That's where we see them.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for them to be extremely connected to Hecate
Okay.
and for her to show
up
the
with that.
stag to you.
There was nothing scary about it. Like I was so pumped up when I woke
I
up.
love that.
Yeah, I was smiling. I was just like, and I just remember saying, "How? Oh my God! Like how cool!" So anyway, so I hope the rest of the dream does come back to me at some point. I can tell you what is on my Christmas list. My wish list is a little record, and I know people say, you know, to keep a dream journal. It's great if you remember your dreams when you wake up.
I agree.
By the time I woke up, it was gone.
Yeah.
Even the stag was gone until you said something to trigger memory. So what I do think I can do, because I dream a lot, and I when I wake up, they're super clear. Instead of me turning a light on, grabbing a journal, throwing my reading glasses,
Yeah, no,
getting
seriously.
a pen, like really getting into a
Getting settled, making
awake
sure
state.
the journal's straight so you can write straight.
What
You know,
page am I on?
Yeah.
The whole thing. I have asked for a little voice recorder, and I'm going to keep it underneath one of my pillows. And then as soon as I wake up, literally all I have to do is press record and just start talking. And then I can pick it apart later, write down what I need to in a journal somewhere. But that is how I'm going to start, I think, really getting into dream work, into still traveling and all that stuff.
Yeah, it will absolutely make the connection between your waking life and your sleeping life clearer.
Yeah.
Because that connection is going to be more, I guess, tangible. Like it's more accessible.
Absolutely.
Instead of so hard to do, which I think stops a lot of people. Definitely me. I'm horrible when it comes to dream journaling.
Right?
I try to write it in my notes app, but most of the time, the thing with you at the stag happens to me is like this crazy prophetic dream will happen, and then either I sit on it and I dissect it for the next 4 days, or I completely forget about it, and then randomly it'll come to me.
And you said that happened actually recently, right? Like something, right? Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, back over on my channel, I have not had somebody come in who's more of an expert in this field. It is something I'm very interested in accelerating my personal practice in is the dream work in those spaces. Because I do think, and you guys, I know this was literally right before midnight that I got woken up, but to put it into perspective of probably what dream state I was in, I had one of those one of those days at work on Monday where the half hour, 40-minute drive home was in complete silence. And I never do that. I usually I throw a podcast on, I throw music. Yeah, something's on. I got almost all the way home before I even realized the whole car ride had been silent. So it was a very overwhelming day. It was one of those where I didn't even want a glass of wine. Like, I'm done. I'm done.
I know those days
You
where
do?
you're
Yeah.
like, you know, settling down, having a drink sounds good, but you're like so beat. You're like, I can't even do that.
Like I wouldn't even enjoy it.
Yeah, I couldn't even enjoy it. I couldn't even let it take the edge because I'm just going to go to sleep.
I just want to go to sleep. Yeah, and that's where I was Monday night. So I went to bed really early. I think I was in bed. I was in bed by 8.
Yeah.
And I think I actually fell asleep by 8:30.
Yeah.
So by midnight, I was in a pretty deep
Yeah, you're already in like REM sleep. Your brain was in theta.
Yeah, exactly.
You were, ready for all the messages to come through. You're in a deep sleep.
I was.
Wow.
There's no doubt. So if that helps to put, maybe the impact of what that dream could have been if I had taken some more better notes
So
on it.
how is
Yeah.
this making you feel now that Hecate is almost like so close? I don't know if you've worked with deities before, and if you've gotten clear signs. I think it's really common thing for people when they are first working with deity to be like, okay, I need to know that you're real.
Yeah.
Show me a sign.
Right.
Unless you take more of a chaos magic approach to it, which we've talked about before. But with Hecate specifically, how's it making you feel that she's actually showing herself to you and she's coming to you?
I would say honestly a little confused.
Yeah.
If I'm just being
Yeah.
like, we're just gonna call it what what it is. So I don't have any religious bones in my body. None. I wasn't raised religious. I've never had a calling. I've never had a void that I felt like needed to be filled by some type of God or God. Like I just don't. I'm very self-assured. From a very I don't, and I don't know what to attribute this to, but from a very small age, I've just never even been drawn to it. There's no like, oh my gosh, I need this type of guidance or I need some type of wisdom or something. I've been so self-assured in everything
Yeah.
I've done that there hasn't been a void for me to fill.
Yeah.
Some of that has to be from my upbringing with my dad side of the family, very Catholic. And he was even when he was a teenager was studying to be, I don't even know what do you call it, priest,
Yeah,
a
priest would be
pastor,
for
or yeah.
Catholicism is
Yeah, okay,
priest.
so he had a falling out with the church,
Mm-hmm.
and he got to the point where he started asking questions. They didn't like it, and they flat out asked him to leave.
Yeah.
Flat out, like
Mm-hmm.
you cannot be with us anymore
Yeah.
because you're questioning. Like you don't question.
Yeah.
This is just how it is.
Yeah.
So he had a big parting with the Catholic Church. This was long before he met my mom. They got married, had me and my brother, but so there was no church for us. We did
Right.
not, although I do think my brother and I were both baptized. So that would be
Yeah.
with my mom in her Christian, her
So you're
raising.
you're Christianed.
So I am,
Yeah.
I am, I am. Uh, we never went to church. We never prayed before we went to bed. That was not something we did. I'm not gonna say I've never been in a church because when we visited my dad's parents, that's what we did.
Mm.
We had to go to church with them. I will say though that a little, maybe okay, some trauma, a little bit.
Jules. Let's hold it for the
Okay,
question.
yeah,
Let's hold the religious stuff for the I'm a girl. Like I need to switch over to my questions. You're getting good.
Okay, so let's wrap up Hecate because I would say my feeling is confused. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the idea
Mm-hmm.
of the values that I think certain gods and goddesses represent. There is zero chance of me ever having a monotheistic
Right.
future. Zero.
Mhm.
The polytheistic, okay, yeah, I see value in that.
Yes.
And I like so there's a lot of stuff I do like. I don't have any ground zero, or this is my ground zero.
Mhm.
I just don't have anything to tap into being like, okay, this is what I should expect, and this is what these actually are a sign of somebody trying to reach out to me, or this side of it is very new for me.
Yeah, and I can absolutely relate to that because
Mhm.
I talk about religious trauma quite a lot on my podcast. I think that's really where my focus is because that's what I'm passionate about when it comes to that and the connection to witchcraft. Um, but I definitely can see the confusion when, we are just conditioned as a society to understand that deities or gods in general, God,
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 exactly.
the big God
Yeah.
is, just everything. And he has this authority to really decide where you go, who you become. If you turn your back on me, oh, then this is going to happen. And then to have such a different relationship or been shown something so opposite of that
Mhm.
is like really eye-opening, but I think you approach it with caution. for sure.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's great advice. You do approach it with caution.
Yeah.
Be
So,
mindful. Yeah.
yeah, and boundaries, which Hecate. So let's talk about her and boundaries.
Yes.
So her role is a liminal goddess,
Okay.
right? She stands between the two worlds, life, death, light, dark, sea, sky, everything
Okay.
you can think of that's liminal.
Yeah.
And I think hand in hand, what comes with that is boundaries. So, being someone who is starting to approach Hecate or be approached by Hecate, what kind of magic are you, I guess, looking forward to work with Hecate specifically? Because we have this idea of, oh, she's only good for one thing, just witchcraft in general.
Right.
But you're discovering that there's a lot more than that.
I'm certainly excited to incorporate her into something very specific that I'm looking forward to on November 30th, which we can talk about later.
Yes.
But the energy is I think what I'm attracted to right now, or what I'm feeling the pull towards. And when I say energy, for me, what I'm feeling is I'm getting a lot of power.
Yeah.
And the boundaries. I like that because I feel throughout the years that has been an area I think I've done pretty good on ish. I mean, you always grow. That's the beauty of being human. You have the capability of growing and expanding.
Yes.
I'm excited to work with exactly what you're saying, like the crossroads, making choices. I've always been very good about making choices. They might not have been the right choice. I shouldn't say that. I don't believe in that. That didn't come out right. Okay. So it might not. There's always a choice. And sometimes while it might feel like when you make that choice on a crossroad that, man, I just fucked up.
You're good.
Yeah. No, but where you say you're like, I just fucked up. I should not have made that choice.
Yeah.
But you know what? That choice brought you to some tough stuff you got to work through, whatever it might be, but then ultimately it got you where you needed to be. So it might not feel right sometimes when you first choose it, but it gets you to where you need to be to grow to the next level.
Yeah. And I think that is also a lot of people's attraction to Hecate, because as humans, we are always faced with choices. That's the one thing that we will never get away from as really conscious beings. Animals make choices every single day too, whether it's on instinct or not. We do too. We follow our heart, our head, our gut, and so we're always faced with this sort of crossroad, like, well, my heart is telling me this, my head is telling me this, I feel this way, or you are really trying to balance the outcome between two choices or more. But it's usually always more than one. And I think Hecate is making a lot of people realize it's not a choice, I guess, to put it into shorter words, because like you said, at the end of the day, it's really not a choice, because what you choose is what was meant to happen.
It is what you need to experience to get you to that next level. Now, if you do not take the time, I think, to understand what you're going through and learn from it and grow, you're going to repeat bad behavior. And, at some point then, you are just making bad choices. Because you're not taking the time to learn the lesson and move forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with November 30th coming up.
Okay, yeah.
So November 16th is going to be full moon. It's Night of Hekate.
I mean, how amazing
is
that?
I know, it's crazy. And you're so good on your podcast about saying the moon phases, because I've always been really connected to the moon. I think that's just natural as Cancer
sign, please.
But I know, right? There's 2 Cancers in the house.
Yeah, just so you guys know, we're both Cancer.
Pretty close too. We're only 10.
We are. We're within 10 days.
Yeah. So we have the full moon. That's going to be really intense. I'm already feeling the energy.
I do too.
And then that traditionally is when you start to get ready for Dipnon, for her dark moon. And that so happens to fall on the 30th. So everything is really aligning this month. What do you plan to do?
All right. So I can say my practice as a whole is, again, I haven't had a lot of issues where I feel like, you know what, man, I gotta do some dark magic here because I can't handle what's going on. Like I just don't. I typically, if I have feelings of jealousy or anger or whatever, like I work through them and I don't typically feel a need to really do something towards somebody else. I don't know if you want to call it karma, whatever it is. People's own behaviors, there's consequences
Yeah,
for what we
there
do.
is. There
There
is.
there are natural consequences.
What goes around comes around. You don't necessarily have to believe in threefold law. You don't necessarily have to
Exactly.
believe in karma, but I mean, it's kind of unarguable that what goes around comes around.
Proof. Life has proven to
Yes.
me that it
But
usually
that just goes in with the balance and um like we talk about that pendulum.
yes.
It's always swinging.
It is always swinging.
Yeah.
It will always right itself. It
Yeah.
always does.
So I like that. Let's go on to baneful magic.
You want to do some? Okay,
Yeah, let's talk
so
about that because this is something not necessarily new for me,
mhm,
but it's something you've never done before. And I think as a witch, either there's one part of someone who, or witches who are like, fuck yeah, I want to be a witch and I want to curse people,
yeah,
which is absolutely ridiculous.
it really is, and
You know,
that is definitely not me.
yeah, you can't be hasty with it. But when you come to um, magical maturity, I guess,
Hmm.
you really start to understand, yes, you have this power. You should be able to wield it, but you really have to choose when
Yeah,
and if it's worth your energy.
right. So I can share with the listeners some general information of what is leading me up to this, and
Yeah.
it is because
Let's see who we gotta fight.
here's my ride or die girl again.
Don't worry.
Who are we doing some painful magic on? Um, a situation has come up over the past 3 months, and it has to do with somebody, what I would consider threatening something that is very important to me, which is the rescue work that I do with kittens, the foster work.
Yes.
So I am highly attached to wildlife. I'm highly attached to animals in general. I
Mhm.
always have been. This goes back to the moment I could
You
I
could
could be
remember.
aware of animals. Yeah.
Yes.
So somebody is saying some things about me that are not true.
Hmm.
And again, for the most part, I don't care. I'm so
Yeah.
secure in me.
Exactly. I know what's true,
I
so
do.
honestly, I'm not wasting my energy on trying to prove it to anyone.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't feel that need. However, now with this specific situation, they have circled in some other people. So it is very intentional what's going on. And it's all to make their side look more favorable
Right.
with something. So
Which, of course.
of course, right, naturally, that's why it happens. So I am at the point where I will be doing something uh, to protect myself, to protect my image, to protect the work I do, the rescue work I do with animals and the fostering that I do, and create some boundaries, but also stop them from the gossip, stop
Yeah.
them from the ill words that they are choosing
Mhm.
to use against me, and the false words that are choosing to use against me, and the flat out lies.
Yeah.
So we're at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do something.
Exactly. And at that point, it's not revenge, it's justice.
Yeah, I'm not a big revenge person at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like you're seeking any sort of revenge, vengeance, however you want to put
Mm-mm.
it. It's like, which is a very Hecate thing to do. I think what you're doing is, you know what, your breaking point was you don't fuck with the animals.
And honestly, yeah, yeah, so yeah, so to give a little bit more details, this has been an ongoing thing for about 3 or 4 months now. And I spoke with somebody last week, kind of like a mediator or whatever
Yeah.
person, as somebody,
Middleman.
the middleman. And when he said or shared the information that was being said about me, and he's like, Charlene, I just, I'm sorry to even say this. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
now we're there.
Yeah.
Now we're there.
Exactly.
Now this
It's
isn't okay. Now you're threatening something that is very, yeah, it would be like if somebody did something about my boys. Like
yeah, absolutely. That protective mother instinct is
now we're done.
going to come out. Yeah, exactly.
Now
Now you're done.
now I'm now you're gonna be done. So
Yeah.
so I know the Night of Hekate for the 16th is a big one, but I am absolutely right now focused on November 30th, which is a Saturday again, you
I
guys.
know.
Like, oh my God, and it is a dark moon.
And it is a dark moon. So I want to talk about the
Like,
dark moon more because I was born on a dark moon. I have
you
always been extremely connected to the dark moon phase even before really I got into phases. So this is going back, I don't know, it's probably 8, 9, you're obsessed with the moon. When it's full, you're like, oh my God,
Yes.
I want to go out into the
Spirits are calling
woods,
my
spirits are
name.
calling
Yep.
my name. But so what generally happens is, a lot of people will feel um very amped up during the full moon, right?
Mhm.
All the emotions are high, the waves are friggin' uncontrollable,
Absolutely.
and that very much corresponds to how we feel inside versus dark moon energy. People start to settle down, kind of go into a personal winter phase of the
Yes.
month,
Yes.
um, and then go from there and start over. For me, it's always been opposite. Full moon, I feel tired, I feel cranky, I don't feel amped up, I feel like my magic isn't
Like at its
as
peak.
close to me as it is, but when I start to feel the dark moon coming on, I'm like laser
Let's
focused.
go.
The night
Yeah.
is dark and I'm full of terrors. Look, Game of Thrones.
And I like,
Um, but but yeah, so this dark moon, is the dark moon something that's new to you? Because
no.
many people don't really know about the dark moon.
No, and matter of fact, it is not new to me. I
Okay.
also like the dark moon.
Yeah.
So I was born about 3 days before a dark moon.
Yes.
So in my year, different year from you, obviously. So I personally have always recognized the dark moon. That
Mm.
absolutely. I don't know if I would say I do specific spell work during it.
Have you always called it the dark moon?
I have. So I
Okay.
have. So that was, I think, when one of the first episodes I did on moon magic, when I was
Yeah.
talking about that, I was like, I know a lot of people do not recognize the dark moon as a phase, but I do.
Right.
So I really do recognize the five. I say five phases. You can do the
Yes.
quarters. You can add, there's more there, but
Hmm.
for me, there's five, and dark moon is one of them.
Yes. And we
That
talked
is,
about that then.
we did,
Yeah.
yeah. So I always have, I do like the dark moon. I personally, I'm such a homebody. I
Yeah.
love the act of retreating. I love having blankets on me and feeling cozy and having candles lit. And I feel like that's kind of all like dark moon energy for me. It's retreating, it's being safe, and it's being protected somewhere inside. It's not being out and open and celebrating and doing a whole bunch of stuff. It's retreating for
Yeah.
me.
Absolutely. And that corresponds with Hecate.
Hmm.
Um,
Dark moon energy. Do I celebrate it?
oh yeah. So let's talk about what kind of magic do you do during the dark moon?
Hmm.
Do you really stay away from magic because you're in that retreated kind of feel, or is it something that you choose to focus on, like maybe inner work, shadow work? Do
Yeah.
you do spells and rituals during the dark moon?
So it's a very specific energy. So yes, I do.
Hmm.
I know. I think I recently said something to my listeners that I love fire magic, and I have a
Yeah.
fire pit in my backyard, and I went out there. This is going back a couple dark moons, the more beginning of summer type stuff.
Yeah.
But I was out there and I tried doing the fire pit, like nothing felt right. And I was just too busy. I wasn't super aware until I literally came back in to the
Hmm.
house and I was like, what is not working? Like I love my fire pit, but it felt so unsafe out there
Yeah.
and so exposed. And so I ended up coming in and I ended up lighting candles and doing some stuff inside. And then I realized I'm like, well, it's a dark moon. Of course I don't want to be out and exposed. I want to retreat. I want to be in.
Yeah. You're
So
doing exactly the opposite of what your instincts were, kind of telling you to do.
and they stopped me.
Yeah.
So I got stopped in my tracks. I was like, no,
Hmm.
something didn't feel safe out there, and so I stopped, literally stopped
Yeah.
doing it and moved my happy ass inside, and then it was okay again.
Yeah. What about like kind of I know not every witch does it, but do you do like unconscious work? Do you like to do sort of otherworldly travel? Do you like shadow work? I mean, not everyone likes, most people don't like it, let's be honest. I'm a
Let's
weirdo.
call
I
it this.
love shadow work because, it's not necessarily like I love the work, I love the results of doing the
Hmm.
work.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Okay, so I want to go back to Crossroads
Sure. Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's her big thing.
It
And
really is.
I love that she's associated with Crossroads. I know when we went and got our little plants and we went on that like trail walk,
Bridging.
we did something at the Crossroads and we really did it in daylight, but it was
Hmm.
like immediate. The black dog happened. We knew she was there. So both physical and non-physical, what are, the crossroads that either you are still facing, you have faced? how are you going to work Hecate into it? Is she
Yes.
already showing up to show you certain ways?
So I can say without going back into a lot of history with
Mm,
personal choices that I have or have not made,
yeah.
I do feel like she could be showing up in a very powerful sense for me right now.
Yeah.
In trying to interpret all the signs and little nudges and breadcrumbs that I've been getting, I think, with her in in that I do think there's another crossroads that's coming up for me. I had a pretty major one about 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, and I think another one is coming up for me, specifically tied to my witchcraft practice.
Hmm.
So I do. I think I mentioned for my group, which hopefully they're all over here listening right now.
Oh my gosh, thank you to
Yeah,
like the six of you who came over and followed me.
six. Then
Yeah, it's like 6 or 7 as of today.
those
So
6 or 7, man, you guys rock.
thank you.
Okay, but I think so. My listeners know that I had a really big move recently over the
Mm.
summer and saying goodbye to my murder of crows that were over there that I had become so close. I know I can cry just thinking about it. So, oh no, so now I'm gonna cry.
Oh. And I've met them too.
Yeah,
I have had
it's
the pleasure of,
legit.
when you were gone, they were so important to you. You're like, Annika,
Please come feed
please
them.
come feed the crows. And
Yeah,
I'm like, obviously.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I freaking love
Yes.
them. But they really were so connected to you. And they came to you in
A,
a time where you needed it. It
a
always
very,
happens like
I
that.
know.
It just always happens like that.
So I think back then I had a choice in a crossroad, and I chose,
Yeah.
and I chose, and that specific flock murder, whatever we want to call it, they were there the whole way with me. They were like,
Family. They were
"This is it. We are here. We are supporting you." When I was first doing the podcast, you could hear them screaming. You really
Yes.
can on the
Yes.
recordings, and it's like it. Did I completely read into it then? Yeah, I mean a little bit. It's
Yeah.
obvious that they're cheering me on, but so it was really hard leaving them. But there was a crossroad that I did not plan on. It
Hmm.
literally got um, given to me, shown to me, and I chose. I chose action. I chose to do it, but it meant leaving that flock and coming over to hopefully a new flock that is going to help me take the next leap because I feel like another leap's coming. I do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what
Yeah.
that's going to mean. I don't know what that means for the practice itself, but I think the last 4 years of my witchcraft practice has evolved so much and grown so much, but there might be another big leap coming up. That's
Yeah.
my interpretation
And you
of
know what? That honestly always happens.
yeah.
And that is so perfect when it comes to working with Hecate, whether you recognize she was there or not from the beginning, because
Mhm.
Hecate really takes on this soul guide, right? That's her psychopomp epithet, but not only for the dead or the restless dead, but for us. And a lot of people who work with Hecate or she approaches them is
Mhm.
she's there to guide you to your next step. And, I think I talked about it before on your episode, but
Yeah.
she can push you into the direction that you need to be. Whereas maybe it's not forever. You're not meant to work with her forever. And I
I'm not
feel
a
that,
big forever person that
right,
way.
exactly. You're like, girl, commitment. I don't know about that.
I just feel like there's no way. I think very few, whether it's a deity, very few people, very few family member, like it all. It, the only way to get to whatever the next point is to grow,
Yes,
and not everybody grows with you. They don't grow at
exactly.
the same pace. They don't grow at the same with the same intensity, whatever you want to call it. I feel it is so important for people to come into your life for whatever portion they're needed. And then it's okay to say
Hmm.
goodbye, or maybe you will see them again, or maybe, but there's an ebb and flow and a give and take, I think, with relationships and
Hmm.
relationships with gods and goddesses, deities, whatever it is, that isn't supposed to be 24/7.
Exactly. And it could be a case whereas you know what, you are really having this deep connection with Hecate, you're getting these signs, she's pushing you
Mhm.
onto your next path, and then she'll step back and let you grow because that's what she likes to see.
Yeah.
And whether you're paying attention to her or not, she's paying attention to you.
Right.
And then, 6 months, 2 years later, whenever it might come again where you need to go to your next step, she might jump
Hey,
up again.
okay, let's go. I'm
And
ready to work with you
that
again.
might be a relationship that you build with her. It's like, all right, when I start getting signs from Hecate, I need to retreat. I need to look in and say, okay, now it's time to grow. Where's my next step? Because Miss Thing is here.
Yeah,
And,
she's telling you, it's about to
yes,
happen.
it's about to happen.
Get on the bus.
Mhm.
We're going.
Yeah, she's there to hold your hand, really.
Yeah.
Even though she can be intimidating, she, is this huge chthonic goddess and very powerful on
Mhm.
both ends of the spectrum, light and dark. Um, she does kind of take on a mother role, but not like, I'm gonna coddle you. She's like, get your ass up. I'm here for you to put your head on, but I'm gonna push you.
Okay, and not to make this like I don't want to dismiss anybody's mothering skills or like, but in
Yeah.
all honesty, that's what a mother's supposed to do.
Yes. No, I
You
agree.
can see the young adults out in society who are not adulting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
because, like it is the hardest thing, and I will say this from the core of my heart. It is the hardest thing to actually watch your kids not need you anymore. It's
Mm-hmm.
heartbreaking,
Yeah,
but you've done it the right way. Sorry.
that's true.
That's I've got kids that are contributing to society. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And
And
the
you've done
only
a good
way
job.
thank
Just
you.
to say, like,
Thank you.
your boys are polite, they're nice, you've done a good job.
They're good young
Yeah,
men
yes.
and
And they work hard.
they
Yes.
are
They're
very
doing their shit.
self-driven.
They're
They
doing their
are.
shit.
And I'm so proud of them, but there's there's a catch 22 with it.
Yeah.
The only way that can happen is if you push them out of the nest and you push them to be the
Mm-hmm.
best version of them that they can be. So
Yeah.
it's a fine line between coddling
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and giving that protection and that say what you always want to do. You always basically want
Yes.
to say, man, go out there, do
Yeah.
it because you could always come home. Home is always safe.
Exactly. And you know what? There's always going to be room for coddling because you're the one who's pushing them. Same with Hecate. I don't
Yes.
have children,
Yes.
but she will push and push and push you. And then, you know what? She will be there when you fucking fall. When you are
That's right.
at your worst, just like a mother
Yes.
should be.
Should be.
Um, I will put that in
We know this is not going to be everybody's
there.
mom. Yeah.
Yes. But that's why we have Hecate.
Yes.
And for me, I don't think my mom listens to this podcast, but for
It's
me,
about to get
it's gonna
real.
get real. Just
Yeah.
as we wrap up with the whole mother thing, but
Yeah.
I've had a very complicated relationship with my mother.
You have, yeah.
And as I've gotten older, we've certainly gotten closer, but as a child,
Mm.
it was not the storybook,
Yes.
you know,
Beaver cleaver. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I was always missing that. And as I grew into a woman, you start to recognize those things. That's a part of shadow work. And as I did my shadow work, I understood there is mother wounds. There's things that I do or how I feel all go back to this moment, not necessarily because my mom did something, but because my mom didn't do something.
Mm.
And with Hecate, that was completely eye-opening and made me closer to her because she showed up as a spiritual mother.
Mm. I
And,
love that.
I'm thinking with you, it's more
Sure.
like she's like, I got your back
Yeah.
as, kind of the same role. It's like, I
Yes.
have the same role as your girlfriend. Like, I
I
got
get
you.
you. Yeah.
I will be here because, your kids have you to fall on. Who do you have fall on? Who do you have? You know?
It's funny. I've been hit and miss therapy, like, off and on. And I know we're going to get into more personal stuff on a different segment, but um, that has been my biggest thing. I do not trust anybody.
Yeah.
And and I don't feel like there's anybody to fall back on. Like it is me. It always has been me. I've definitely taken on that role in my family of this is it. This is I will step up. I will be that person that I wanted in my life, for everybody else. And so that has been a very important role as far as being the one that's in charge and will handle things and take care of stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
take that very, very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of parallels between your life and honestly Hecate, and that's probably why she's showing up
That could
for
be,
you.
especially the way she did in that dream. Like
Exactly.
it was like you guys, I can't. I know I already said it, but I woke up with a smile. It was
Yeah.
such like a energized. Oh my God, that was badass. Like it
Yeah.
was. it was such a rush of positive power.
Mhm.
It was
Exactly.
enough to
Which
wake
is
me up.
exactly how she needed to show herself to you. Because all these people are like, oh my gosh, she's so scary. She scared the shit out of me. Well, like, you know what? Maybe you needed that.
Maybe maybe
Maybe,
you did.
yeah, Hecate recognized something in you and she's like, you know what? This is what this person needs and this is what that person needs. She's this chameleon when it comes to all her epithets. There's like freaking 90
Okay,
something.
so you guys, Annika and I actually were starting to look at all
Yeah,
of
we
it
printed the
yesterday.
sheet
We did. We
because
printed.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna fucking remember all those.
There's so many.
And I recognize, I even told Charlene that my relationship with Hecate is a lot different than most people's.
Yeah.
I'm not a devotee.
Yeah.
I will never worship like you. I will never worship a god. And that doesn't just come from religious trauma, but that comes from me healing from my religious trauma.
Sure.
And that's my choice
Mhm.
is I choose to not, follow that path. And that's how I approach Hecate is like, you know what? After she showed herself to me and there was kind of this magnetic pull towards each other, you could say, I started getting into the books and all this, and really from all these outside sources and media, it was, oh, you have to do this. And that's very common in the witchcraft community, right?
Yeah.
Is like you see all these things where you have to do this or else this. And I just came to a point where I was like, you know what? If I'm going to work with you, Hecate, this is how I come. I will show up for you. I will, not put effort into this relationship, but
Yeah, like
I'm not going to worship you
yeah.
like Jesus or
Right.
God. You know
Right.
what? I'm
Yes.
not going to do that. And it works. For me, it works.
Yes.
And there might be a certain way and a special relationship that she has planned for you. And that's honestly what I just freaking love about her.
It's so attractive. It
It
really is.
is.
It makes you want to establish a relationship.
Yes.
Or it makes me want to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same. Yep. So
So
I
if
will split this into two, but I think we're just going to pick up exactly where we are right now,
I love it.
just so it's easy for
So we
people.
can do it next week.
Yeah,
Okay,
we can
so
do it next week.
so I will get my personal cap on.
Yeah, personal cap.
Personal
So all
question
of
cap.
Charlene's followers who came over, you
Get
are about
ready.
to get the grit.
I
And
don't
all of my followers, to enjoy.
yeah. Love it.